Hello, everyone, and welcome to Headers Orientation Fall 2020. If this is your first time as part of Headers Committee, then of course you can always go through this whole thing at your own pace. I'm posting a pre-recorded lecture or orientation so that everybody can watch this on their own time and learn everything on their own time, because I understand that right now it's a little bit difficult. So let's get started. This is our table of contents. We will always have headers committee, credit policy, and expectations, and then event dynamic. There's also protocols for virtual volunteering, and then there's other matters like consecutive shifts, overlapping shifts, and stuff like that. So let's get into the first section. Just for the purpose of virtual volunteering and our current climate right now, we'll only be going over a few of the sections, because things like consecutive shifts or overlapping shifts, or things like PBS, that's not exactly applicable because nobody's going to be in person. So let's get started with the first section. So headers committee, credit policy, and expectations. Committee credit requirements. Header committee members are required to head the specific number of events assigned by the event secretary. In order to receive your credit, you have to send the header text screenshots, meaning that you have contacted your volunteers, and then you send your PBS photos to headersforags@gmail.com. Obviously, PBS photos don't really apply here. For now, we're going to be saying proof of participation, or like photos, videos that our volunteers have created, and then you will compile them into a folder later on, and then you'll send them to headersforags@gmail.com. Excuse me. And then you'll also be handing in a header sheet, which we will go over a little bit later, within a week of the date of the event, or like the end date of the event. If you're unable to give the header sheet to me, then you can always submit it to Professor Quevedo, who is our current advisor. Obviously, we're not going to be giving it directly to him at MC29. And then of course, you can always send him a copy of that email at quevedo_john@smc.edu. So, and then lastly, you're going to update the header sheet information on the AGS website, which you guys will have access to as soon as I've assigned you as the header. You can update the header sheet information within a week of the event. Just a side comment here, headers will be providing a Google spreadsheet where you can track all your progress, and where they'll be able to, see which events you've been given, because events are assigned on a first come first served basis. So header committee credit policy. Headers may receive a -1 committee credit for the following reasons: any misconduct during an event, arriving late to PBS, adding crashers and exceeding the maximum number of volunteers, dropping an event and not finding another header to replace you. So if you can't do an event, you have to come tell me so I can find somebody else who can cover for you, because an event cannot go without a header, depending on what kind of event it is. Not contacting the members and drivers committee at least 3 to 1.5 days, but obviously drivers don't apply here. Allow members to arrive directly at the event instead of PBS. So obviously we can't really have members being allowed to arrive directly at the event, because it causes a lot of confusion for us, causes a lot of confusion for you, and we'd like to minimize that. And violating the guidelines listed anywhere in this document. There's a lot of guidelines, so please read everything carefully. If a header receives 2 -1 committee credit, he or she will be removed from the committee. So if you display any kind of misconduct, or you're violating any of these rules, you'll probably be receiving -1 committee credits. So let's go on. Header expectations. If you are not able to head one of the events you signed up for, it is your responsibility to find another header to take your place, meaning get in contact with all the other headers and say, hey, I can't cover this. See, please, somebody, I need your help. Please don't be afraid to ask, like, get in contact with board members or get in contact with your event secretary and tell them, I need a header. Please, can you assign somebody else to do this if you don't have anyone's number? You represent HES and SMC, and therefore you should be acting accordingly, and you are responsible so that the entire group doesn't do the same thing. If you don't know what to do, go ahead and ask your event secretary, because it really helps to be in contact with somebody. If you see an issue, please address it. Don't just like leave it as a comment in the sign up sheet or on the header sheet, because we want our volunteers to know, hey, like, this type of behavior is not acceptable, and we would like to be good examples. We would like to be excellent volunteers. We would be like to be seen as excellent students, so on and so forth. And that's pretty much outlined right here too. Socializing during volunteering is often encouraged because we want people to make friends, so long as it doesn't distract from what you're doing at the time. Be the nicest person possible, but please be assertive when needed, especially if you're seeing any kind of misbehaviors or inappropriate behavior. Volunteers are not allowed to bring other people to the event unless they are also signed up for the event. That includes virtual volunteering and in-person volunteering. Last but not least, please have fun, because it can be fun either way. So let's skip over event dynamic, because that is for in-person volunteering. All right, so protocols for virtual volunteering. Event dynamics and header requirements. According to social distancing protocols, all student activities during pandemics or other situations in which students are in remote learning, all volunteers will need to be moved online. Please keep in mind that our foremost priority under pandemic protocols is the health and well-being of our AGS family / members, and there will be no in-person events. Okay, basically, we want the well-being and the health of everyone else is the most important thing, and we want to be safe about everything that we do, because we could get in a lot of trouble, and not only that, we are putting other people's lives at risk. So please be in mind that there shouldn't be any kind of in-person meeting associated with AGS, which goes against college protocols during remote instruction. Meeting in person is a blatant disregard for safety and the lives of others. So please, please, please refrain from any in-person contact. Everything should be done remotely. Please, like, email, Discord, message, text, call, anything except for in-person. Any violation of social distancing in regards to volunteering events offered by AGS is subject to review by advisors and may result from expulsion from the club. Remember that we are an honor society. We want to exude honor. So please keep that in mind. All online AGS-sponsored volunteering events will require a header. So there are certain events that are different from others. So there's our independent events, and then there's our AGS-sponsored events. So AGS-sponsored events are the ones that we assign headers. These are the ones that we want to be monitored so that people are able to, follow the rules and like do everything according to our event coordinator. And then there's also our independent events. Those don't really need a header, and those people will submit their independent hour sheet and their proof of participation directly to me. So as the header, everyone's proof of participation will be sent to the header and not me. So Headers will not be assigned to head online independent events. Independent events will be done according to the rules outlined in the VIVO orientation, and all hour sheets and proof of volunteering will be sent to headersforags@gmail.com. In case you guys don't know, headersforags@gmail.com is the email where we collect all of our header sheets or our independent hour sheets and our proof of participation. Proof of participation could come in the form of like screenshots of like things that you did, pictures, videos, or like outlines, articles that you may have written. So all of those form different forms of proof of participation. Volunteers do not need to fill out the virtual independent volunteering opportunity hour sheet. I know that's a very, very wordy title, but it is what it is. As a header, you will simply provide a list of volunteers via the header sheet to the event coordinator, and the event coordinator will e-sign the header sheet to verify the amount of hours that each volunteer has completed. So once you have received all of the list of volunteers and you've been made the header, just remember that to download the header sheet as a PDF, and then you'll be able to email it to whatever event coordinator that you have to check in with. Let's move on. Requirements are subject to change throughout the semester and according to the current climate of a pandemic, but remain generally the same as stated in section 1.1.c under header expectations. Okay, just so you guys know, header requirements, as in the number of events that you need to head, they are subject to change just because things happen. Maybe you're having a tough time outside of school, or maybe you're having a tough time inside of school. Whether or not it's academic related, I would like for you to be able to come to your event secretary and explain, hey, I can't really do this right now. We need to prioritize our academic responsibilities or any other very pressing matters that are outside of AGS first, because AGS is not entirely a priority. We always want people to come volunteer with us, and we encourage it, and we want you to get your transcript notation, be able to transfer to a great college. But if you're having a tough time, just come let us know, and we'll be able to work something out, and we'll be able to still give you your committee credit or your volunteer hours, and you'll be able to, we're going to try and help you out, okay? So requirements are subject to change. Each volunteer must check in with the header of the event via email or text message. What we mean by that, we'll go over a little bit later in our pre-event procedures. You're going to send a group text /email to all the volunteers and provide them with important information. Keep track of how many hours each volunteer has individually completed, and keep accurate records of which volunteers have checked in. So checking in and checking out of a volunteer event are very, very important. We want to verify, hey, this person has done the work for the event. They have submitted their proof of participation. They've checked in with me. They let me know, hey, I'm going to be participating. Their name has been submitted to the event coordinator and all that. So make sure that all volunteers have provided proper evidence of volunteering and participation. Proper evidence and participation, that really comes down to you and what you think is good enough. You know, sometimes we definitely don't want anybody to be photoshopping like their hours or their proof of participation just so they can like cheat by and not be, you know, participating in the event. They have to like show like, hey, I was here, I did this, and it's completed, and here it is. Report any incidents of misbehavior, e.g. being rude to others, photoshopping volunteer paperwork, etc. So things like that we don't tolerate. We are an honor society, again, so we gotta be honest. Headers must stay for the entire event, and headers have to participate in the event. Just because you are the header for the event doesn't mean that you are scot-free from doing your hours. You need to also do your event, because you have all these volunteers participating in the event and doing their hours and getting their credit for transcript notation. So you know, and you were also signed up for this event and you contacted the coordinator, so we would like for you to, you are not exempt, you know, because it's not fair. Okay, moving on, pre-event procedures. So remember to sign up for the event that you have requested according to section 2.A, requesting an event. So according to section 2.A, I'm not going to go over it right now, but I'll show you quickly how you can request an event. So when you go, where is my tab? Oh my gosh. Where's committee progress? Okay, this is the spreadsheet where you will be tracking all of your progress. Don't worry, I'll be sending a link to everybody. Your name will be listed here, and then the amount of events that you have to do. So each header, for this semester in particular, we're going to require 5 events. If there aren't enough events available, we can always alter how many events you have to do. Maybe sometimes it'll be 5, sometimes it'll be 4, because maybe we don't have enough online events to supply for the headers. So maybe we'll come down to 4 and everybody will still be able to get their headers committee credit, okay? So when you get on here, this is credit explanation. The color that is on here, that means that this is basically the lens, whatever color it is, that's what step that you are on. So let's go here. So this is the events request form. Basically, just go ahead and click on this link. It'll take you to the events request form. Just put your first name, last name, student ID, email address, the event code. If you guys don't know what the event code is, it's the 4-digit number at the end of every event. It's when you go to the link of the event, you'll see it'll say ID, and then there's this little 4-digit number. So let's go over that quickly right now in case nobody knows how to do that. So when you guys see here, if you guys look at it, it says ID and equals 5964. That is the event ID, okay? So always, always, always provide that, and it'll even show up on the PDF form. So let's look here. So it'll say at the top right-hand corner, event ID is 5964. All right, let's go back. And let me go here. So the event code, the event name, yes, please always provide the event name of the event that you are heading, and the event date. So the event date here, this is what we mean by there's a difference between the like actual event date and the end date, because a lot of our online volunteering opportunities are ongoing. So here you're going to put the end date. By that I mean this is due Wednesday, August 25th of 2021. These are year-long events. I doubt that this particular event is going to be a AGS sponsored event, because it's that long, and unless any one of you guys wants to be a header for that long, it's up to you. But most likely we're going to find you guys some events that are actual AGS sponsored events, and we'll make them a little bit shorter than a year long. Event location, in accordance to virtual volunteering, your answer is always going to be home. Always write home in this answer. Event PBS time, this doesn't exactly apply unless there really is a deadline. And then the number of maximum volunteers. So you can always check this in the details section located at the top left-hand side of the event page. You cannot see the maximum number of volunteers because the event is already full. You just state no answer. So let's go over that. Maximum number of volunteers says unlimited, so just put no answer. Okay, let's go back. All right. And then you're requesting to be the header or the co-header, depending on how many volunteers are in your event. So if there's like 100 volunteers, yeah, we're gonna need a header or a co-header. For example, if you check the spreadsheet and something is marked purple, which means event is missing a co-header, then you can apply for that event as a co-header, and then you'll get your committee credit. Okay, so let's go. Let's see if that was form. Okay, let's go here. So always check your headers committee progress spreadsheet to see which volunteering events have been given to you. I'll always notify you via email that you've been assigned to a specific event. Okay. I'm not going to leave you in the dark and you'll just like find out the day of. I'm going to tell you. So in accordance to pre-event procedures, send the header text / email, preferably email, because we don't want to be spamming our volunteers with text messages all the time. So it's a little bit better to do through email. It's a little bit more professional. Text or email all the volunteers signed up for the event the day that you have been notified you have been assigned an event. So the day that you find out that you are a header, please text them, text all your volunteers, or email them. Just compile all their emails. If you don't have access to their emails, come let me know, and then I'll give you a list of all the volunteers and their emails. Okay. Failure to send the text or the email will result in a -1 committee credit. Why? Because there's a lot of important information concerning your virtual volunteering event that is really, really important, and we'll go over that in the little example that we have here. Make sure you include the following, which is introduce yourself as the header. To say, hey, my name is Amanda. I am the header for this event. I'll be guiding you through the process of virtual volunteering, and then include the event name and the end date, aka the event date. And how many hours can be earned, or the minimum number of hours that you can earn, because people can earn varying numbers of hours for each event. So let's go over an example of what that email would look like. Hi everybody, this is Albert from AGS. I am your header for the following event, which is Book Spring Book Critic, which is a sponsored event, which will end on Thursday, December 3rd of 2020. This is also your deadline by which all proof of participation must be submitted to me. Please remember to register for the event on their website, which is provided on the AGS sign up page. So when you go, obviously there's going to be like a details section with, you know, hours to be earned, how to submit your hours. Please email volunteer@nphy.org for a waiver. So excuse me, things like that, like email the volunteer coordinator for waivers to be signed. Training and preparation, things like orientation, a background check, volunteer application, things like that are things that our volunteers need to be aware of so that we can volunteer properly and we are able to we're able to earn all of our hours. Okay, so like fluent in English and one of the following, so like Spanish, Tagalog, French, Swahili, Mandarin. Volunteer duties, translate essential outreach documents. So we're translating in this one, which is like honestly really cool. Hours to be earned, minimum 9 hours. Obviously this isn't the same example we used in our headers orientation, but yeah, things like that, important information, waivers, things that we need to sign, training, anything. Please either link it in your email, or just copy and paste from the events sign up page and put it in your email so that they see it not only on the event sign up page but also in your email. Okay, so continuing. If there are any volunteer orientations or training to be completed, please complete them in a timely manner in order to begin earning your hours. When you have completed the amount of hours you want from this event, please send me your proof of participation in a separate email or text. I will be in contact with the event coordinator to submit the names of everyone who is volunteering for this event. Once I have submitted your name, you will be checked into the event. So check in. We go, let's find an event that actually has volunteers so I can show you how volunteers will be checked in and out. So when you check people in and out, there's going to be this little thing that says in, out, comments, / hours. Let's go to, always go to edit volunteers. Do not touch edit event. always edit volunteers. When you go to edit volunteers, you can check on who is in this volunteering event, and you check them in, and then when they have submitted their proof of participation, you can check them out, and then you comment, this person completed 3 hours. If you experienced a -1, just put a semicolon and then the reason X, Y, and Z, and then put -1 right next to it, okay? But that's only if, you know, something happens, but always comment the number of hours, okay? Okay, so here we go. Let's see. All right. It is important that you provide your volunteers with the previously stated information. Add more details, links, or alerts that they will need to know about as they volunteer. This includes, if you're in contact with the event coordinator, if they include any more additional information that volunteers need to know about, please include that, or email your volunteers for a second time, providing them with that information. Okay, if you drop the event after you have been checked in, or you have signed up for the event and you do not send me your proof by the time the event ends, that person or whichever volunteer didn't do the work and didn't submit their proof, they will receive a -1, okay, because they committed to the event, they said they were going to do it, and then they didn't. So let's move on. Take a screenshot or a screen cap of the header /email or text and save it for later to be sent to email to headers4ags@gmail.com after the event is done. Okay, please don't delete your emails. We really need them. If you want, you can also just forward the email to headers4ags@gmail.com. Please include the event code in the subject area and the title of the event, and then I'll be able to, verify, hey, like, you sent out your header text or email, and then I can give you a little bit of partial credit for that, okay? Because there are steps in, submitting things like header text submitted, PBS photo submitted, header sheet submitted, website updated, things like that. And then we'll go over that a little bit later. Okay, let's see. Contact the event coordinator and attach the header sheet via email. The header sheet will provide a list of participating volunteers for the event coordinator. This will help the event coordinator know who is part of AGS. Okay, people, they need to know, like, hey, like, we're coming from this one organization, we're from a school, we're trying to earn, volunteer credit for such and such region. Have the event coordinator e-sign the notes section on the upper right-hand side of the header sheet. So I'll show you guys what that looks like right now. So let's go to view PDF. You guys are always able to download the PDF version of the header sheet. So this is the little note section. Just have them e-sign it right here. Most of the time, event coordinators they have some kind of e-signature system set in place because we are doing everything from home. So they'll be fine with that. Usually I'll have a little bit more details listed right here, like contact person information, but that's not there for this one anyway. If the coordinator does not reply back to your initial email by the time the event ends, contact the external VP and the event secretary immediately. So in the case of fall 2020, please contact Miranda or me, because we need to know so that, people are able to get their committee credit. And, event coordinators not responding is not your fault. So we'll be able to, fix that from there. So let's see an example of the email that you would send to an event coordinator. It would say, hello, so-and-so, my name is Albert, and I'm from Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society, Santa Monica College. My fellow volunteers from AGS and I are participating in your event, and then insert the name of the event right here, and would like to receive verification of participation. Attached to this email is a list of AGS volunteers. Please e-sign the notes section of the PDF and send me an updated version. If there's any additional information that you may have for my volunteers and I, please let me know. If you have any questions, you may contact the AGS Club faculty advisor, Professor John Cavedo at cavedo_john@snc.edu, or you can call this number right here, and then always include like a thank you, hope your day is going great, whatever you'd like, just be nice. All right, going on next, during an event. So during an event, you're gonna have these like couple at a time emails rolling in from your volunteers saying like, hey, here's my proof of participation. So collect all the proof of participation. Proof of participation is the verification that a volunteer has participated in an event, and we went over that a little bit earlier. Go through each volunteer's proof of participation and compile everyone's pictures, videos, articles, or any other digital form of proof in a Google Drive folder that can be shared with headersforags@gmail.com. If you don't have access to Google Drive, or you don't have that kind of email, I'm pretty sure student emails always give you access to a brand new Google account, and from there you can make an entirely new Google Drive. It'll be, you know, fresh for you to put all your proof of participation in there into a folder, and from there you can share it. Or if you really don't want to use your school email, go ahead and contact me and we'll figure something out. Okay. Keep track of how many volunteers. Keep track of how many hours each volunteer has completed. So again, volunteers are able to complete varying numbers of hours. You will have access to updating the AGS sign up website for the specific event that you are participating in. So once I make somebody the header, they will be able to, you know, put in the comment section and update the website, but only for that specific event. Okay. In the comment section, enter the number of hours completed by each volunteer. Volunteers can earn varying numbers of hours. The minimum amount of hours to be earned will be stated in the description of the event. If a volunteer has received a -1, please enter that reason in the comment section and include a little -1 next to the reason. So we went over that already, which is great. Okay, participate in the event. Remember that you are also a volunteer in this event and you are not exempt from earning hours. Being a header is a great way to earn committee credit, leadership experience, and volunteering hours simultaneously. So you're gonna get 3 in 1. Lastly, during an event, remind your volunteers, please remind your volunteers. Many online volunteering opportunities are ongoing and volunteers are able to complete their hours at their own pace, meaning that it's like nobody's like doing everything exactly at the same time. Those events online are very rare. So please remind your volunteers by sending a second text / email that they have a deadline to meet and submit their proof of participation. If you guys also want to send that to me to headersforags@gmail.com, you can go ahead and do that. Honestly, I just need the first one, that you notified all of your volunteers. But if you have any second or third emails that you sent, and you think it's really important that I see them and know about it, then you can go ahead and include that. So for example, hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing well and being safe at this time. Please remember to send me your proof of participation before Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. Failure to do so will result in a -1, so please be sure to complete your hours before then. And then happy volunteering. All right, that covers during an event. Post-event procedures. So check people out on the header sheet, and I showed you guys how to do that a little earlier. Once your event, what's your event? That's a typo. Woo. Once you have your event, begin checking volunteers out of the event by updating the AGS website that you have access to as a header. So we went over that. You check people in and out. Only check people out after you have received all of their proof of participation, okay? Your volunteers need to tell you how many hours they have completed, and then they need to show you proper proof. So let's say they said, hey, I completed like 9 hours worth of volunteering, but they only provide one picture. It's gotta be more than that, because I know there's got to be more proof than just one picture. So please make sure that you're thorough and you understand that volunteers should not be cheating on their proof of participation. So moving on, complete or compile all proof of participation in the Google Drive folder to later share with headersforags@gmail.com. Complete accurate, timely records is critical for later reference for an advisor to resolve any kind of disputes. So let's say somebody like said, hey, I completed X amount of hours, but on the hours website, it says that I only completed less than that. So please, can you check on that? If anybody hasn't like an appeal form for a -1, we have to go back and look at the evidence that supports that appeal. So please remember to complete an accurate folder for all the compiled proof of participation. All right, complete the header credit requirements. These 4 requirements must be completed within a week of the event. Let's see. Yes. Update the header sheet information on at the AGS website. Basically, when you guys do that, let's go back so we can see. When you guys do that, go to edit volunteers. It's going to ask you to check people in, hours, XYZ, whatever, and then you just hit update, and from there it'll be left alone. So when you hit update, it'll update the website, and then from there you can just says volunteer information has been updated and stuff like that. And then from here you can just go back to the sign up page if you decide like, hey, I want to go volunteer for another event or be a header. Okay, let's turn off that. Okay, moving on. These 4 requirements, that's also a typo. I'm going to fix that. Email the header text /email screenshot, the Google Drive folder link, and an updated PDF version of the header sheet to headersforags@gmail.com. So if you guys don't know how to download the header sheet, just go to download PDF, and then it'll download a PDF version of the header sheet right here that you saw earlier. And then from there you can attach it to an email and then send it to me. And then from there you have your headers committee requirement complete. Beautiful. That doesn't return to. Okay, emailing header text or emails and all that beautiful information that we stated earlier, like your Google Drive folder and the updated header sheet. Please include the event name, the event code, event date, and the time, although time doesn't exactly apply here because all of them end at like 1 a.m. And then attach whatever documents or files that you need to attach, okay? So here's a little bit of an example. Let's zoom in just a little bit so you can see. It says to headersforags@gmail.com. The title or the subject is the event code, which is 5451 header was Amanda Lee, co-header is Kate Carlin. The event name, this was the lupus event that we had last year. And then the event code, of course, the end date for our virtual volunteers, event time, if you want to include that it ended at midnight, of course, and then attached screenshot, and then always provide like either a link or like an actual folder if you have a folder of files to upload, and your updated header sheet with the signature of the event coordinator and then everybody who has been checked in and checked out, and then with the amount of hours in the comment section or any negative ones, any other, things that you feel like you might need to include because it's important, anything like that. So please attach it to that one email. I prefer if you guys could send these headers emails like as one email, just because it's easier for me to sift through everybody's credit that way, so that I don't have 5 separate emails for just one event. um, and always keep in mind that, like, just like your officers or your board members are also students. So we it just, like, it simplifies the process for all of us. Okay. um, These are header sheet guidelines, but this is also for in-person events. So there's always, comment section guidelines. It's there's like a no-show. For, in this case, no-show would be no proof of participation, didn't respond to emails or texts. Dress code doesn't apply. Showed up directly at event location doesn't exactly apply. Misbehavior does apply. So please indicate like misbehavior and what kind of misbehavior was going on. Didn't check out, that's also a -1. Let's see, coordinator signature. Get the signature from the event coordinator or primary contact person. Ideally in the notes section right here. And update the website. So we went over updating the website. You guys can read this entire document on your own time. I understand it's very, very lengthy, but if you ever plan on being a header for any future events, like in-person events, when SMC has decided to, open up the campus and we're okay to go back to school, you guys can go over this in detail. Sometimes it will change, like this semester headers orientation did change because we had to adjust to our situation. So just remember that things can change, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you have any questions, you can always come contact me at amandaleeforags@gmail.com. And then you can also contact Miranda at miranda4ags@gmail.com, or any of our assistants, or the hours secretary at neo4ags@gmail.com. So all their important contact information is right here at the bottom. And of course, you guys will receive a copy of headers orientation yourselves. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate everybody tuning in to my pre-recorded headers orientation. Happy volunteering, everyone. Bye.